What's up, guys? It's your girl Matt Cox with Couture Crafting. I wanted to come to you guys and show you another ornament. This one here is super duper duper popular. It's the Scandinavian star, and I have done these in paper. Now we're going to do them in fabric using a really cool technique with just gluing heat and bond to heat and bond so that the fabric is starting to move a little bit more like paper. And this is probably one of the cleaner ornaments that I've done. It just, when you take this heat and bond and you glue it to heat and bond, it really makes sure that all those fibers aren't just flying away and you don't have to go back and do a ton of cleanup, which is really, really nice. So I really like this technique. If you've never seen it before, stay tuned. I know that I'm choosing very strange holiday colors, but I decided that my entire Christmas this year was going to be used with that African fabric by Michael Miller. I don't know why, it just spoke to me. And so all of my ornaments are using this African mask fabric with this red and turquoise, and those are my colors, and that's my thing this year. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, bye-bye. What's up, guys? Let's get into this Scandinavian star. So what you want to do is cut your fabric to 6.5 by 6.5 for this size star. This can work for just about any size you can think of, and the larger ones can go on the top of your Christmas tree if you'd like. But what you're going to do for this particular size is cut your fabric down to 6.5 by 6.5. Then take your Heat and Bond Ultra, the one in the red packaging, and you're going to cut that just shy of 6.5 by 6.5, not 6.5 by 6.5, but just shy. Then you're going to iron it to both sides of the fabric. So both of your colors need to be ironed down. And then you're going to iron those together. Then you're going to trim it. And that way you've got heat and bond that goes all the way to the edges. So you just want to start with the 6 by 6 square that has 2 layers of heat and bond in between it because heat and bond has been bound to both sides of the fabric. I chose to use 2 different colors. You could do this in one single color. It's really up to you. There's just different looks that you can achieve with changing out the colors. But I'm going for a 6 by 6 square, and I want that heat and bond to go all the way to the edges. It just keeps it clean. And then I'm going through and I'm cutting these down to a 1/2 inch. So I've got a 6-inch square. We're doing 1/2 inch. That's going to get us 12 of these little strips. And the math should work out perfectly because we're starting with a 6-inch square. And you can make these different heights and widths, and you do whatever you want to do. But each ornament is going to take 2 of those sandwiches. So you're going to do 4 pieces of fabric. So for one side, I did the blue, and then the other side, we're working with the masks. And I kept the masks in order so that I could kind of put them in order. You don't keep it. You can't keep the pattern because you're doing a basket weave. So I'm taking out of the 12 strips, I'm taking 2 strips, and we're just starting with a nice cross. We're going to do a basket weave. So that strip went underneath. Okay, I'm putting it over. It doesn't matter how you do it. You just want to get a basket weave. So on the sides, those 2 are over. And I'm just using a little dab of hot glue. This is not difficult. It's a short basket weave because it's not even that many strips. So you're going to do, and again, you need 12 strips for one whole ornament. And then you'll do that, and then you're going to weave it underneath. See? And now we have a basket weave. And you want to make sure that they're spaced equally apart. They're not right up against each other. Then you just put a little dollop of hot glue there. And hot glue is hot, but it's not so hot that I can't touch it. I, matter of fact, would probably do this with a low temp gun. I like the low temp. They seem to be stickier. I don't know why, but I like low temp guns. This is just a Michael's cheap hot glue gun because it's hot glue gun season. So after you do the little basket weave, then you are going to flip these around at the tips and just join them so that they come to a 90-degree angle. And you're going to do that to all the X's. It really doesn't matter which one you flip up first, but you want to rotate it so that you see the back color. Again, not difficult to do, guys, at all. You're just going to go to the X and just glue them together. Just a little dollop of glue at the tip. and you make them go to that point. And it's really just, it's truly that simple. And you're just grabbing the two and you're leaving the one in the middle. We'll be working with that one in the middle in a minute. So you want to make two of those and you figure out which side you want up and which side you want down. So for the next one, I decided that I wanted to have different colors on either side. So I'm going to start with the red up this time. And again, I chose to do two different colors on either side of my original squares. Not an issue. It just gives it a different look. And now we are going to start our weave. So if the center one is underneath, the two on the outsides are going to be on top of that strip. And then vice versa, depending upon how you're starting it. Just make sure that it's a little basket weave. Nothing complicated. And there's just a hair of space between all the strips. I do that for me um, at about 1/8 of an inch. And you just use a little bit of glue and just put a little dollop there and secure it. And because it's woven, it's not like it's really, really going anywhere. And then I turn it so that I make an X. And then now we're going to just rotate it so that we see the blue up now. A little bit of glue, and then you just hold it till it cools. And I'm trying to make sure that I get glue all the way to the side. And any glue that seeps out, just pull it and roll it between your fingers. Now I'm working with the masks, doing the exact same thing for both sides. And now I'm just checking to see if I want to really mix up the colors, and then I decide that is a poor idea. And so now you're just going to take the long strips and pull them through the centers. You just line it up. It totally makes sense when you're doing it. You just rotate it just, to the side, and you'll see that the longer strips will go into all of the curves that you've done. So you see the 4 curves there? Actually, it's 6 curves now because all of them are curved, but you just stick the straight pieces in. Now, the way that I like to do this next step is with I guess you can call it like the little cave. I like to work with the cave on the surface. So that way I can just push the thing down. Because if you'll see the next one right next to it has the cave on top of the strip. I hope this is making sense, but you're watching it happen. So I just lift up the strip and put a little glue there. Some people push it back so that it's not hanging over. I clip it at the end. I don't mind it hanging over. I kind of like a flatter Scandinavian ornament. Some people try to give it more dimension by pushing those back, but I'm just picking them up and putting a little dollop of glue. Pick it up, put a little glue, push it down. I'm not being overly careful about this. I'm just making sure that there's roughly the same amount sticking out on all sides, and then I just rotate it over. And now where the cave is at the bottom, we do it again. And you can tell when you flip it over that more of the black is showing because of the way that we put these ornaments together. Super simple, super fun. I'd say do it with the kiddos, but that's a lot of cutting and hot glue, so you just have to use your own discretion, but it's not difficult. And you could do this with fabric glue, it's just going to take a little bit longer. And that green fabric glue from Thermoweb actually dries pretty quickly, so you could do this with the kiddos and just some regular fabric glue. I really like this ultra heat and bond for this project. You are not supposed to sew through ultra heat and bond. So I use these for my no-sew projects. And look at that. Isn't it cute? Now I'm just giving it a little zhuzh. I'm just pulling on it a little bit, giving it a touch of dimension. And now we're going to do the same thing. So you see what happens if you do it straight, and then you just turn it to the side so that it has somewhere to go through those loops. And we're going to do the exact same thing and glue these down. So I went with the blue on the red and the white on the masks. I like it. It gives it some nice depth, I think, of color. Of course, you can do these in one color, but who wants to do that? So I have snipped it. I have actually not snipped it, I'm snipping it now. I've glued it down, and now we're just going to clean up those edges. So we're looking to see, and we're just following the natural curve of the point. And you just grab yourself some super sharp scissors and just cut it. And then it cleans it up. There's no overhang any longer. Not difficult at all. And it's kind of fast, especially if you do an assembly line style. You know, cut a bunch of 6.5-inch squares and then use your iron to fuse it. And then after you fuse it, yada, yada, yada. But again, this does not have to be a super duper long project. And I think you guys should try it in all different kinds of fabrics. I know people like to do traditional stuff, but these don't have to just be for the holiday, the winter holiday season. They could be for Easter, you know, the springtime, whenever. You could throw these in a bowl and they'd be just kind of pretty bowl ornaments or decorations. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person who'll just put some random stuff in a bowl because I think it's pretty. So again, you just want to go around and clip all of those corners that are poking out and keep them even with the little caves that you've made. Let me know if you guys have ever tried these stars before, these little ornaments. They're so popular, and I've done them in paper, just not with fabric. Now I am going to do this two ways. The first way, I'm just going to loop it behind one of the caves. And I think this is 1/2 inch fabric from Michael's. Nothing special, nothing overly expensive. And I'm just using my scissors to cut it at an angle. And I just simply slide this on either side and just wiggle it till it goes all the way to the top. And there we have our hanging, you know, our little hanger. And then I just tie a knot at the top. Not a special knot, just like I'm tying my shoes. And then I pull it taut, and that one will hang just fine. Or if you are particular, you can punch a hole. If you don't like this way here, if you don't want that tension on your cave, you can just punch a hole and stick the, I actually prefer it that way because you don't have to worry about it twisting and turning and whatnot. Although sometimes you want it to kind of have a little twist and be, you know, adding a little depth to your tree. But that's a crocodile hand hole punch that'll go through just about any material you've got. It can go through thin sheets of metal. It is extremely powerful. One of my favorite tools. And I'm using the 1/8 inch side to just punch a hole, and then I stuck the ribbon through, and then I tied it. And then we have two finished Scandinavian stars. Again, you can make these bigger. You know, you could do a big old 12-inch one and put it at the top of your Christmas tree, or put it wherever you want. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let me know if this is something you think you'd try. Yes, I'm at Michael's Arts and Crafts. Yes, I decorated their trees and took pictures with my own ornaments. We do what we got to do to get this content out here. All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.